Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another creative coffee break with Loch Ness Knitting. This morning I have another Highland maker with me, and that is Marie, who lives on one of our Scottish islands. I'm not going to describe you, Marie. I'm going to let you tell us all about where you are and what you do, please.
Well, hi there. I live on North Uist, which is one of the smaller islands on the archipelago of the Outer Hebrides or the Western Isles. I'm an artist and really began, art through painting and fashion foundation. And there's not really much work up here on the islands. And in 2012, I attended this course, which was for the new mill that was going to be built, Uist Wool. And basically, they had a 12-week course, which was fully funded, where we learnt about wool. So we visited lots of crofts, and we learnt about different sheep. We had visits from makers and designers who worked all over the world using wool. And obviously, sustainability was a massive factor in the production of wool, and hence why that they were trying to build a mill up here, because a lot of people keep sheep up here. And it also included visits to the mills, archaeologists who studied ancient breeds. So it was a really in-depth course, actually. But one of the parts of the course was going to a 3-day weaving workshop, which we each had a little hand loom, a table loom, and we were given wool, and Harris Tweed Industry kindly donated a lot of yarn to the mill for this project, because we went up there on a visit to see the whole process. And I did a 3-day workshop in weaving, and I just never looked back. So I went and I invested in my own foot-powered loom, just a timber loom, and that's just a 4-shaft, 6 pedals. And I've got a beast behind me, which is a 10-shaft, and that is a counter march loom. My first loom's a counterbalance loom.
So behind your right hand shoulder there, that's actually a piece of your work. Is it work in progress?
No, this is a piece that I have recently made.
That's beautiful.
This is actually from a warp that I was trying to get rid of before I because I had a warp on my loom downstairs, which is my smaller loom, but it's still a big loom. And I had to get that piece woven so that I could get another warp on there as a commission. And so with this fibre, it's hard for you to see, but I basically put all sorts in here. And I've made this fabric very thick. And the idea is to make lots of 1970s shoulder bags. The hippie style shoulder bags.
Yeah.
I'm going to make lots of those from this piece, because I think it's about 6 meters long. And I'll back it with, I'll probably line it, because I line all of my stuff, and I usually line it with beautiful waxed cotton African prints, because I love the brightness and I like the marriage of the two fabrics, to be quite honest with you. And I'll just, they'll be like mini tote bags, but with the long shoulder straps. So hopefully I'll be able to get those online or in the shops.
Fantastic. I look forward to seeing those. So you mentioned this beautiful place that you live in, Uist, and beautiful colours that you showed us from the loom there. What kind of things inspire your work?
Well, coming from a painting background, my main inspiration is definitely the blending of colours. So I buy all of my yarn from Harris and from Lewis, from the Harris Tweed Industry, who very kindly allow me to buy my yarn there. Now they have a swatch colours, and so I often just blend lots of colours together. And there is in Harris Tweed, there's a kind of a tagline called "From the land comes the cloth." I can't say it in Gaelic, but it's a Gaelic phrase. And basically it is inspired by the sea, the ocean, the sand, the rocks, the skies, the light, the seasons, and you can really, really see the islands in the cloth. And even though I don't weave Harris Tweed, because it's a very particular kind of fabric with patterns and count and everything, I do feel that there's a kind of tie there for me, and it's sort of like it ties in with my ideas about sustainability and carbon footprint, which I think is really important, and trying to really go as zero waste as possible. I do, I live on the Machair. That is why my business, it's called Machair Weave, because I love the Machair. I go there all the time. I swim in the sea. Usually I start swimming in April right through until September, and being there, you're just part of the landscape. And I'm doing a project, a personal project called Mapping the Machair, where I've actually been going down and mapping the Machair by florally throughout the months, and I'm hoping eventually to turn this into a series of rugs, depicting the different seasons, but also the fragility of the Machair and the state that it's actually in because of the lack of biodiversity, and crofting is hanging on by the skin of its teeth, as they say.
Wow, that's really just inspirational, very interesting. If somebody wanted to pick up on some of the thoughts and inspiration that you've given today and have a go at weaving for themselves, what kind of materials would they need to get started, and where could they find these? Is it something that you could easily try at home?
Yes, I do believe it is, because you don't necessarily need a loom. If you could you could get an old picture frame, and from that you could just really wrap twine around it. You could use string, you could use jute, you could buy, there's various websites that sell weaving supplies, but you could just utilize what you've got at home. And what I use for a beater is an afro comb.
Oh.
So I do have I'm involved in this project with you, and these are my two little frame looms. So I have this, which is the size of an iPad mini, and then I have this, which is the size of an iPhone, and they are great. These are really great, and I use these for sketching. Okay, and so this is one of my sketches, if you can see that, which is from my little loom, and that is marram grass from the Machair, and fleece, and both Hebridean, which is a black wool sheep, well, it's kind of brown, and a blackface sheep, which is quite a tough fibre, usually used for carpets and the like. But I wanted these particular ones because I had been given these fleeces by crofter friends, and they are indicative of Machair life. And the grass that you see there, that is the dune grass called marram grass that grows between the shore and the Machair. So, you know, it's that to me is a real piece of Machair weaving. Then I have another piece here from my bigger loom, which, can you see that?
Yep.
That again is using fleece, and that is from this loom, which is slightly bigger. And this is really more of a sort of pictorial depiction of the sea and the waves and the Machair dunes. And also, you can't see it so much in here, but perhaps you can see there's like little holes I've left in the warp as a way of indicating, you know, the fragility and the sort of the way that our ecosystems under threat. So, you know, I kind of sketch in wool really, with these little frames, and I make massive bolts of fabric. You know, I think the length that I weave most is 15 meters, because my loom could not cope with more than that around the beam. But it is very easy to just get a picture frame and just have a look at what materials you've got. You could cut up t-shirts, bed linen, anything into little strips, and just do weaving in that way. You could use knitting needles to use as a needle to get through the warp, and there's plenty of information on making your own looms on, you know, online through YouTube and you know, just Google it basically.
Brilliant. Well, it's been lovely speaking to you this morning for our creative coffee break. If people want to find out a bit more about your work and take another look at it, where can they find out more information about you?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, and join us again for another creative coffee break where we'll be talking to more makers from across Scotland, sharing their skills and inspiration with you. Thank you.